Guys, Deluded Gooner, YouTube's N'Golo Kante. Now, a lot has been said of black coaches within the national team England. I'm referring to set up, behind the scenes. We've had that before. The lack of black managers in the game. Full stop. I believe that on one hand, throughout the top divisions from League One, from League Two, sorry, all the way to Premier League, there's only a handful. Five. Chris Powell, off the top of my head, Houghton, and I can't think of any others. So yeah, we know on a general basis in football, for the amount of fans that love football, for the amount of players of African, Caribbean, or just somehow black heritage, they're prominent. I mean, you go and look at PSG's academy, you go and look at the French's national team, you go and look at England's national team, England's youth side, anyone, and you see you even look at the England national team, like even the under-21s the other day, that with the fixture that literally just went, there's a strong prominent of black participants and things like that. I'm not saying there's not black coaches, clearly they are, but the numbers start to dramatically deteriorate, and we know there's several reasons for that. Whether it's people that like we've heard when I've been to events, owners of football clubs and people in positions have just simply said that these, and pardon my language, that these owners who are rich white men, they don't know any black people, and you can't black people or have black people in their circle. There's that reason. There's just simply, let's not lie, there's racism. We have to, as I don't necessarily believe it, but we have to call it a reason. Maybe there's a lack of people trying to participate, which I said is not a reason, but we need to look at things on a broader perspective. Whether it's people becoming disillusioned with not being handed chances, whether it's we all know, I know a certain amount of you who've grown up a certain way have been told you have to be twice as good, and that's a fact. You can't be mediocre, really. There's several other factors, and it's true there are stitch-ups, but one thing that goes under people's heads, and it really does annoy me. Chris Powell came out and said that the game's lost a generation of coaches and things like that, and that's true. But one thing that really annoys me and goes under people's heads, and you don't have to stand up and be an activist and be one at the end of the day to your life, but people that are black people of black African or Caribbean descent, or black British or African descent, whatever you want to class as being black, whatever you want to call it. How do I put this? There's the ones that are in positions, and again, you don't need to be activists if you're a coach. You can just do your coaching. You don't need to help other people, but they're just as bad, in my opinion, as these people that are racist and these people that are putting up roadblocks to allow it. Why I say this is because, like I said, not everybody has to fight. Not all skin folk is your folk. Like, as I say, not all skin folk is kin folk. They don't have to stand up for stuff. I mean, if I became, I don't know, let's just say YouTube, that something happened with black YouTubers and I was a prominent one, I don't have to stand. I would, but I don't have to stand up for no one. Like, I stand up for myself. I get that, but when I hear people like Chris Powell come out and say these things, and then I relate, I've been at talks, and my boys have been at talks where, and again, the FA is not right, but we have to keep it true. The FA is not right in a lot of the things they do. But that is his name, Martin Glenn or something like that. Don't quote me on his name. He was at one of the events I went to, and he's listed several things he tried to do to try and increase the inclusion or see what the problem is in relation to black coaches. And he said he tried to speak and set up secret meetings with a lot of black managers and things at the time, but a lot of them didn't want to come forward because they're fearful of losing their jobs, and Chris Powell was one of them. Now, I'm not critiquing a man. At the end of the day, a man needs to get paid. A man wants to be a coach. A black coach is hitting the lottery, essentially, if you're there after the things I've listed. You don't have to be one. But this just goes back to slavery to a degree. I'm not comparing them to slavery, of course. Any of you that have common sense know where I'm going with this. It's like, pardon my language, the house and the field nigger. The one working in the field, picking up cotton and all of these things. The field Negro working his arse off, wants to get freedom. The person in the big house, they're both the same skin color. You need to keep this. The person in the big house, the slave master's house, whether it was the women that were slightly more attractive or the more physical pleasing on the eye males or whatever, or just simply better looking, they're working in the big house. They're doing slightly backbreaking, but slightly less backbreaking work, all the nice stuff, and they get to sleep in the master's house. They get better food. They learn to love the master, the slave owner, more than they love themselves. So when it comes to bringing change and things like that, the house Negro is scared of what he could possibly lose. He's just simply thinking about, okay, I'm going to lose my big house if we try and get freedom here. We could get a bigger thing. We can get liberty. We can get freedom for thousands of people. But I'm just focused on me. So if we keep that same blinkered logic, that is what's happening in football at a lot of periods, man. So while I get, we have lost a generation of coaches. I'm not critiquing Chris Powell or anyone or Ramsey or anybody, because these were the things. But we have to keep it true. Like, you man were scared. Like, there's nothing wrong with being scared, but I feel that we have to keep it true, and on both hands, on both sides, we always attack racists and all the stitch ups and things. But we need to critique. I don't want to say our own, because when, like, it's football, but our own, because you could help. Like, you could help, but you're choosing not to. Again, like I said, you need to get paid at the end of the day. You need a job. You're a manager. You don't need to be an MP or political hero or any of these things, but we do need to keep it true. And I just found it a bit rich, some of the comments I've been seeing, not just by Powell, but by a lot of guys. Chris Powell, someone I admire, someone I've actually met, someone I've actually got a picture with at the same event, someone I admire. But what I won't do is not give my opinion. It doesn't matter. I mean, most people in life seem to realise that their opinion think their opinions holds weight. This is my opinion. I mean, I'm just a humble guy, back screen like this, talking about football, and I just that's what I honestly believe, man. I honestly believe that it's a lot of, not just this, in a lot of industries. And let's be honest, how many times have we seen a certain individual of a certain shape that's like, oh, I don't see racism. I've never encountered racism. Like, breading is not going to equal protection, and sadly, I've told you, lot, in 2017, there's no excuse to be ignorant. There's no excuse to really be racist. There's no excuse to be sexist. There's no excuse to do a lot of these things. There's never been an excuse to do it. But in 2017, with a lot of the information at hand, like, you just know you're doing certain things wrong. There's certain things you shouldn't be doing. Like, you shouldn't. 2018, sorry. See, I'm still in 2017 mode. 2018, even worse, man. There's just no excuse for ignorance and things like that. And we know there's a lot of stitch ups in the world, man. Especially with the Brexit and all these things that have come to light, race and heritage and all these things, sadly, is playing a bigger part in everything, more so than not. Personally, I don't believe in this not in this crap people say about it doesn't matter if we're black, white, yellow, and things like that. It does. I mean, clearly, whether you're born in Africa and you're exposed to certain things that makes your skin skin black, or you're born in a European country where your skin is white, that's all fine. There's many great European countries, Italy, Spain, etc. There's many great African countries, Ghana, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, with rich heritages. And that's okay. We should, as people, be able to identify, okay, he's European, he's whatever, and that's okay. Bring the best of all cultures together. Like, let's bring what makes us what makes us different is amazing, and what makes us different is amazing at the same time. And that's a problem with a lot of racism in the world. A lot of racists, whether they're racist black men, racist white men, racist whatever, a lot of these people, they don't want to realize that they have more in common than someone they consider below them. That is why there's a lot of the problems. You'll hear we're like the fellow man, all these things. They have a problem with that. I've got nothing more to say on this matter. Guys, Deluded, you choosing N'Golo Kante. Again, a comment, subscribe, and do the rest. I'm out.